Solana to 140, and today we're also going to be talking about top 20 tokens you should definitely have in portfolio. I get this question asked all the time. John, what are the tokens that we should be holding on to and getting ready for this bull run, right? So we actually do have those tokens. I have a list of them, so definitely go ahead and make sure to watch to the end of the video. And I also want to go ahead and mention a possibility of World War III happening, right? We're going to go ahead and get a little bit more into details. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day today. Do me a huge favor and smash that like button for me. But we're going to be talking about today Solana, currently at the levels of 101. I'm really disappointed. I'm not going to go ahead and lie to you. The fact that I longed this market and I got wrecked before the run up, right? And that's usually what happens. So congratulations to anybody that went long. And talking about going long, I do want to go ahead and mention straight to the freaking shill right now into the channel. I would go ahead and encourage everybody to go ahead and open up an account with BingX, which is completely free, but they are also offering sign-up bonuses. And that's actually what I want to go ahead and show you on real quick. So give me about 1 second while I show you the sign-up bonuses. But definitely go ahead and take advantage of the bonuses down below. Caleb, how's it going? Hi, good evening from Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria. Really appreciate the love and support over there. And with that being said, go ahead and check out BingX right here, giving all the way up to $5,000 in sign-up bonuses. No KYC. Same thing with MEXC. You could go ahead and trade meme tokens all the way up to 200x leverage. And Bybit, which is obviously one of the best exchanges, and NordVPN offering 69% off. Actually, even though I freaking got wrecked on Sunday, which was yesterday for me on BingX, I actually still have about $578 of vouchers. I literally just deposited money. I was trading, which was very doable, and I literally had like about 600 bucks that I just received from BingX completely for free, which is something that you could go ahead and use for your trading, right? So if you're looking to go ahead and trade, or deposit some money into any exchange, I would highly recommend BingX. One of the best platforms that I've used when it comes to actual bonuses. Some of these platforms are very difficult to hit the bonuses. For example, MEXC is a little bit more difficult, but BingX, dude, literally the money that I deposited was nothing compared to what I'm getting, right? I only deposited about I think about $2,000, and I'm getting about $600 in literally vouchers, right? Free money, $600 of free money, right? I've been trading with MEXC. I had over 20 grand in MEXC, and I never once got a bonus. And if I did, it was probably like 1 cent or like $1. So definitely go ahead and check out BingX, straight for the shill. But I hope all of you are having a wonderful day today. Caleb, how's your day? My day's going pretty well, man. I'm full of energy today, despite the fact that I got liquidated on my position on Solana. So I don't know, I'm feeling kind of good, but it's just one of those moments where I'm a little pissed. I'm not gonna go ahead and lie to you. The fact that I got liquidated right here before this massive pump to the upside that I knew was gonna happen, and that's the reason why I was longing the market. So besides that, I mean, I'm a little bothered by that. I'm just trying to keep my head up, stay positive in this situation, because it happens to everybody, right? And yeah, but besides that, everything's pretty good, man. I feel good of energy. I don't know why. I feel really motivated to be back in action, even though I haven't taken a break. So I feel great. I hope you feel the freaking same too, bro. Let's see, Mile, how's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. What do you think about Unibot on Solana? I just heard about it. It was a limit sell, which is really helpful in comparison to BonkBot, which doesn't have limit option. I agree with you, man. I'm really bullish on Unibot. I've actually been talking about Unibot for like literally since like July, I think it was, since we had the whole entire meta with all the freaking tokens and with like all the Telegram bots, and I've been really pushing for Unibot. Unibot was originally for Ethereum only, and then they actually made that transition into Solana. So I'm actually very bullish with that, right? So let me go ahead and start shilling this to the community that we are officially live. Let me go ahead and say this right here real quick. Everyone, we are live. So we just went ahead and did that. So there's a massive week ahead of us, chat. We have a possibility. I talked about a World War III. We also have the fact that we do also have Fed week this week. We have Fed week this week as well. Like this is going to be a very volatile week, right? The channel's different. I forgot to mention that as well, right? The channel is completely different. It's kind of naked now. So I hope all of you kind of get used to the new setup. Setup's a little different. I have talked to a team about like my branding and all that, and they told me that I should get rid of all the animations if I really want to go ahead and grow my channel. So you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of changes onto the channel as far as branding and everything. So I hope all of you enjoy this setup a lot better. I do believe the quality is going to be a lot better than to what it was before. I mean, it's not as cool, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only cool thing about this that I have is me, and besides me, it's the light behind me. But that's really the only cool thing that I have. Besides that, there's really nothing else, right? So hopefully, you know, you enjoy the new setup. I think it's going to be better for TA. I actually like the fact we can see the chart, so I'm really excited to do that. How's it going, Jonathan? Hope you have a good one. So let's go straight into it, chat. Enough with the chit chat. Just want to go ahead and do that intro, spend some time with all of you. Feel free to go ahead and comment down below any projects you want to show, any questions, anything that's going on in your mind. I do welcome all feedback. So let's go ahead and get started with Solana. So Solana right now, currently looking at the 4-hourly chart, we do see that there's a strong area of support around 93. We are entering this area of resistance, so definitely be expecting probably a pullback on Solana at around $103. We would be getting closer to the RSI around that, and we will go ahead and possibly retrace back down to 93 or roughly around 99. So we could be expecting Solana to continue to have one little other pump to the upside before we start coming back down, and this is going to be the area that we're going to be looking to go ahead and enter a trade if you're looking to enter a trade. And then we could go ahead and expect for us to retest 110 and above. A lot of people are calling this to be a fake out. They think that this is going to be over, which is possibly a case that could also happen, right? They could go ahead and do one of the biggest bull traps right here where it just pumps to 110. People think 144 is coming and then it collapses, right? There's a probability that that could happen as well. But I think right now we have more of a bullish case scenario. I think if anything worse comes to worse, bearish case scenario is Solana pumps to 144, let's say 150, and then it dumps from here and then it finds its area of support, which could roughly be around 111 or even roughly around this 95 range, right? So we're no longer going to be approaching the scary levels of $69 to $40. Obviously, this is out the door. If we do go ahead and get rejected at 110, we could expect Solana to come and retest all the way down to these levels at $50 to $60. So this is the bullish and bearish case scenario. In my opinion, I think we have more bullishness in the market than bearishness. We also have Fed week that's going to be this Wednesday. So a lot of volatility coming into the space. We are seeing the DXY, the dollar strength, the dollar index slightly dumping, so the strength is decreasing, which is a good sign for the market overall, right? So overall, it's looking really good for Solana. For any of those that are trading Solana meme tokens, I think this might be one of the best times to go ahead and start loading up. Not financial advice, but we are also seeing a massive dump with Solana meme tokens at the moment, right? So we are seeing that as well. And right now we're seeing a lot of projects, you know, down 80%. Some of them are up slightly, like this one, Dragons at 120. But besides that, most of them are actually in the red, despite what's actually going in the market, right? So we might go ahead and have a little bit of redness, maybe a lot of like scare tactics to go ahead and buy the dip. And as Solana continues to rip, we could go ahead and see a continuation on a lot of these meme tokens taking off. So definitely, I think this might be one of the best times to go ahead and be exposed to the markets. Not financial advice, obviously solely my opinion. But overall, the market is giving us pretty bullish signs, to go ahead and say the least, right? So looking pretty good on Solana. We are seeing a few of these tokens also take off. As I mentioned, one of the tokens that I'm really strong on the narrative is still AMC. I could be wrong. It has dumped a lot, right? We did see it go as high as 1 million market cap. And I've been entering this trade with this token for, I entered around over here, roughly around this zone right here. And then I entered and I bought the dip around this zone right here. So you could go ahead and consider it what you think. I think the narrative is pretty strong. A lot of people would definitely say this is a token that already died off. It does have the major head and shoulders pattern. We have retested, so we're probably going to be in this consolidation phase for a while before we have a major breakout to an upside. I'm feeling very confident with this position on AMC. I could be completely wrong, so enter at your own risk. Typically, when tokens do this, they're completely dead. I'm gonna be honest with you. But the reason why I'm very bullish is because the narrative of GameStop, right? GameStop actually hit its all-time high of 11 million. And it seems to be doing something very, very similar. At the moment right now, it's not really doing the same thing as AMC with GameStop. They were doing it together at a previous time. And what I mean by doing it together, they were both running up around the same time. So I do believe that most people are also going to start loading up on AMC based on the narrative that they understand of GameStop. And the reason why this pumped over the weekend was because AMC and GameStop both were released, and that was actually the time that we had the short squeeze in the stock market, right? So that's really the narrative and the reason why I'm bullish. AMC is a fully community-driven project. So we're going to go ahead and see where things go. Hopefully this is not the end of this token. I do think that the community is very, very strong. Community driven, as I mentioned, and the community is definitely pushing it. You know, they're definitely pushing it, and I do think, even though we are down quite a bit, I do think this might go ahead and catch a lot of people by surprise, as GME was the whole entire part of the short squeeze, if you remember back, 3 years ago. So I do think it's going to bring a lot of people together, because I remember being on the GameStop and AMC movement, and to me personally, I feel that kind of connection, and I feel a lot of people will also see that connection. But maybe I'm wrong. If you do want to go ahead and throw some money in it, maybe throw in no more than $50, but I do think this thing could potentially hit a 10 million market cap. Obviously, this is solely my opinion, and none of it is financial advice. But if you do want to go ahead and check out the token yourself, I'm going to go ahead and provide the link right here. I have a small little bag myself. As I mentioned, most of these plays are mostly gambles in my opinion, and the gamble that I'm putting into this, that's it, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead and see where things go. Based on what I've seen with other projects, they usually always look like they're dead, and then out of nowhere they just pump. Like, for example, like I had a meme token that I sold for a loss, dumbest thing ever, a few months ago, and then right now it's freaking pumping, man. And I would have probably had like over 4, 5, 10 grand off of the project if I would never sold it at a loss, right? So you just never know. Rookie mistake number one is, even though a lot of these tokens seem pretty dead, the reason why you only throw a small amount is because you also never know when it's going to pump. And when it pumps, it takes off like crazy, right? So one of the tokens that I'm actually talking about was Gary. I talked about this months ago. And this thing was dead for like literally months, and ever since then has been ripping. Like, if you actually go ahead and zoom out on the chart, this thing has freaking been ripping, and it's look at that right here. I literally entered the token like right here. I bought the dip right here on this token, and because I sold off at a loss around over here, around October maybe, or who knows when, I would have been probably up a couple grand right now. But based on the fact that I sold for a loss, that's kind of that's kind of the story of my life right there. So that's what I'm saying with a lot of these tokens. You just don't know when they're going to come back. These are just mostly gambles and speculations. I wouldn't go ahead and put your whole life savings into any of this. I think these are all more gambles, and you really can't control so much of the market. But I do feel like this one's going to go ahead and take some time to do the narrative. I'll keep all of you updated. I won't make a video yet, just because I don't want to be promoting any tokens that are full on just done, right? I don't want to go ahead and get anybody getting too wrecked. But it was doing actually pretty good the first day of launch. It popped off at 400,000, went up to 1 million. Then I added more on the dip, and then have been holding since. So right now I'm like probably at like a 30-40% loss. I think I haven't even checked my portfolio, honestly. So this one, I'm just gonna hold on to it and just wait for it to do its thing. I think the GME narrative is gonna be big, and I believe AMC is gonna follow. That's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but we'll see where things go, right? So I do think that once GameStop gets a little bit exhausted, people are going to throw their money into AMC, and they're going to be shuffling back and forth. That's actually what we saw over the weekend. So we'll see where things go. And yeah, with tokens right now, we also have the narrative of Deutsche 1 satellites. They actually do have, Elon Musk has a launch going on soon for a rocket. I believe it's going to be on February, so the coming first week of the month, I believe, if I'm not wrong, or maybe like towards the end of the month. And I'll go ahead and try to get that article from a buddy of mine. Unless any of you know, feel free to send it on chat. But I do believe this thing's going to go ahead and push to the upside too with satellite Deutsche. So I'll be making a video about this meme token too. These are all speculations, man. People freaking speculate on whose dog did what day, what kind of food the dog eats, and people make money off of that, right? It's kind of, I guess, kind of dumb but not really, but that's just the way meme tokens work. It's all speculation and fingers crossing. That's really all it is. You really can't go ahead and sit here and do TA and think it's going to be following dot to dot, which some of them do, right? Some of them do, but I think right now might be the time to go ahead and start loading up on a lot of these meme tokens. It looks like Mark was shorting. How's it going, Mark? Hope you're having a good one. It looks like Mark, yeah, lottery tickets, man. Looks like Mark was shorting Myro. Congratulations on that trade, bro. It looks like head and shoulders pattern is forming on this on Myro, so we could go ahead and expect a continuation to the downside on this. Diamond hands on this, so we could go ahead and see Myro, in my opinion, come back down to the zone of around 8 cents. I did say 4 cents was a possibility, but I do think around 8 cents is a possible. 8 cents, it's going to be a pretty good entry for the people in Myro, unless this thing reverses. And in order to see this thing being back bullish, we need to see it break above 18 cents. So besides that, Myro's looking pretty good for a short. So I apologize for that. If you're looking to go ahead and short, make sure to go ahead and use BingX down below. So congratulations on Mark for that position that he was trading. So check out BingX, MEXC, both non-KYC platforms, and they are offering bonuses, as I mentioned. As you can see right here in my account, I have over $578 in bonuses just from depositing and trading, right? I actually had 600 and something, so I already used some of that money, and I will be placing some longs after I lost freaking some money yesterday. So we'll see how that goes and we can recover any money, but honestly I'm kind of over that. Let's go ahead and read some comments real quick before I go into the next news that I want to talk about. What is the safest stable coin in your opinion? Will USDT implode? I think that's a great question, man. I think for any stable coins, they're all kind of scams. They kind of run this whole entire narrative of how the Federal Reserve works. And to begin with, USDT, USCM, they're all very sketchy. But I would say the best one of your option would be USMC, USDC. And the only reason why I say this is because I heard and I hear that Coinbase is backing USDC. I could be completely wrong. I don't know where I read that or where I heard that, or this is speculation as we all talk about. But they are with Coinbase. Oh yeah, I was right. So Circle and Coinbase are together, right? So like your best bet will be USDC, to be honest, instead of USDT. I transact in USDT a lot more. I don't know why. I think it's just a preference that I like to go ahead and transact on. But USDC is something I've been transacting on as of recently because of Solana, right? I don't know if USDT is not as common, but I've been using USDC on Solana more than anything else. On Ethereum, I mostly use USDT Tether. But you know, Tether has been always something that a lot of people always talk about, like, oh, you know, be very, very careful. I think, you know, the way these stable coins work, I think you have more of a safer alternative with USDC, and that's just due to the fact that they're partnered with Coinbase and yeah, they're partnered with Coinbase. I'm pretty sure Coinbase is probably the creator behind it, or the backer, or they probably bought them out. But with that being said, Coinbase is a publicly traded company, right, in the U.S. stock market. So that means they go through audits, and it doesn't mean there can't be manipulation, but the chances of them not, you know, some sort of manipulation being passed on, it's going to be a little bit difficult, right? Because there's a lot of people, a lot of huge investors, institutions looking into the books of Coinbase. And I'm sure a lot of them have been looking for them just for any small little crack, especially the SEC, to go ahead and crack down on Coinbase, right? So far, they haven't found anything on Coinbase from what I know. But I do think, in my opinion, USDC will probably be your best launch when it comes to stable coins. I think anything's a risk, to be honest, regardless of you know, what company is located where. You know, more people feel more comfortable with exchanges being located in the US, but look at FTX, you know what I mean? It's like it was a really pushed American exchange, if you want to call it. They had a lot of political power tied together, but their expansion worldwide was pretty massive, right? And look at that. You also have, you know, like Celsius Network. I think that was founded in San Francisco, Silicon Valley, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then that thing went under too. So it doesn't mean that because an exchange is outside of the US. I don't know why people have that mentality. An exchange is outside of the US, it's scammy, right? It's just the fact that a lot of these exchanges move outside of the US due to the fact of regulation. If the US was to go ahead and be compliant with regulation and not be so like picky, a lot of these exchanges would rather transact in the U.S. Trust me, they would rather transact with the U.S. consumers because they understand they could go ahead and do a little bit more on that and capture worldwide. But I would say, I think anything's a risk, regardless where the exchange is listed, whether it's in the U.S., whether it's in Singapore, whether it's in Nigeria. I think they all have a very similar risk. Maybe regulations a little different, but I think at the end of the day, everything's really, really risky, right? So I would say USDC would be probably your best bet, man. Let's go ahead and read some more questions real quick. Have Miss Dragon on ETH. Hopefully Solana Dragon tokens are next. I do think they are going to be next. I think there's a Solana token right now pumping. We actually do see that, right? I see Dragon. I think it was one of the calls that you called, dude. Yeah, you called this one, right? Who called this one? Dragon coin? One of you called it around over here, and this thing has just massively pumped. So this is what I'm kind of trying to give you the narrative of. A lot of these tokens might look kind of dead, but these are just your lottery tickets, right? And I hate to use that kind of word because I know a lot of you, and including myself, we probably have a little bit more of this gambler's mindset, and this is the reason why we get wrecked in the market. But that's what all meme tokens are. They're just freaking lottery tickets, bro. Don't think that this thing's gonna go ahead and change your life. It can, but I wouldn't bet all your eggs in one basket, right? Just go ahead and try to diversify your portfolio, altcoins, learn a little bit of trading if you want to. But meme tokens are just a freaking ticket, bro. Golden ticket. That's all they are. So just make sure to just minimize your risk on that and do not go all in. So let's look at this dragon right here. This dragon's at 21.95 million. So following this dragon right here that's at 21 million, we also have Chinese New Year coming in the next couple weeks. So I would definitely consider, this is probably the reason why dragon right here on Solana is pumping. So whoever called this one out and actually bought into it, dude, shout out to you and congratulations on that win. That was a pretty good play of actually holding on to it. So I think the best bet is whatever you feel comfortable with, chat. Some people are not going to look at the same value as you and I might, and vice versa, right? Some people might see the value on a token, and really all it really takes is just being patient. And sometimes these tokens just pump out of nowhere, right? Whatever you think and you feel the narrative is, go for it. Sometimes not taking on the risk is the risk itself, right? I'm sure there's been a lot of tokens and positions a lot of you have been wanting to take. Don't get into them. They do exactly what you thought they were going to do, and then you're more pissed off that you didn't jump into it, right? So sometimes, in my opinion, for me personally, I would rather get wrecked, but at least know that I tried, right? So that's kind of my concept with live. Maybe it's not a good concept, but just follow your instinct, man. If you feel comfortable buying a token, do it. Miles says Myro was a nice shorting trade. 100% agreed. Yeah, I made a lot of money on Myro and Whiff shorts. Closed both already. Nice. USDC is audited and fully backed. Nice. I keep everything on USDC, but just wanted to get your opinion. Awesome, man. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's kind of the thing. I know I was watching a documentary on Who Killed Bitcoin, and they were talking about how USDT literally does the same thing as the Federal Reserve. Like, they print money, they issue more coins into the system, and then they use those coins, literally money out of thin air, and then they go ahead and buy the assets to collateralize the backing of the stable coin. Like, I mean, might as well we all freaking start our own stable coins, right? We issue a stable coin, we back it with a little bit of money, and then we just reissue more into the system, and then we just rebuy it, creating money out of thin air. And that's what I heard USDT does. And that's why there's a possibility that if anything was to go wrong, they probably wouldn't be able to really do much, though. They'll probably just print more money. That's all they'll do, just print more coins into circulation to go ahead and even it out, and then just buy more collateral. So it's like literally their own money printer. So I guess shout out to USDT. I wish I would have came out with a concept like that. They're literally like the Federal Reserve, right? So it's just the fact that that's the way a lot of these banks in general are going to go ahead and hold on to a market not fully collapsing, is by issuing more of a token, right? Or issuing more money or more currency. That's what they'll try to do. Eventually inflation will catch up, and then that's when usually we have the collapse of institutions, banks, whatever the case is. But yeah, I think meme tokens right now, There's a lot of money on the downside, but I do think we are entering this. We're going to be entering a soon on risk on environment in the next coming week. So definitely keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto fear and greed chart, or the Bitcoin fear and greed chart. We do see 55, which is a pretty high level of greed. We went from neutral to greedy, so it kind of gives you the sentiment of the overall market, right? So definitely be very, very cautious. As I mentioned, we do have Fed Week coming in Wednesday, which we will be live streaming. It's typically super, super boring, chat. I hate watching the Federal Reserve meetings. They're freaking dumb and boring for what they say. But we'll go ahead and do it anyways, right? We do see this article right here. Solana's WEN tokens plummet despite burning 27% of supply. The burn turned out to be sell the news events, as traders have already accounted for the purge and then some. When meme coin saw a sharp drop since price on Monday, as traders weighed how to value news that 27% of the air token supply would be burned. Solana token was trading over 30% daily at its high around press time. So I actually ended up selling my freaking WEN token, dude. I kind of wish I didn't because it's actually quite up a little bit right now, but I ended up selling at a profit anyway, so I made some money. So we'll see where things go right now. But one thing that's really, really big right now that I also want to go ahead and talk about is Dogenos. Dogenos have been pumping like crazy. OKX starts encryption support for atomical stamps, runs, and Dogenos. I don't freaking know what Dogenos are, if that's how you pronounce them. But it's literally like freaking, I think Dogecoins, I think it's something related to Dogecoin. I know that for sure. I think it might be like their own blockchain that they're trying to create. I don't freaking know, dude, honestly. But I know it's a big hype right now with Dogenos. And the reason why I know that is because I have a buddy of mine that got into an NFT collection of Dogenos. And at the time, they were going for $600 to $800. I'm pretty sure now that we're seeing articles, and we just saw BitBoy actually just make a video about that yesterday, I think they might be worth a couple $1,000s now, man. I'm going to reach out to my buddy, but shout out to you, Crypto Junkie, man. That was a good play of yours, bro. And I know there's a full-on community right now on Twitter. If you see a lot of these dog NFTs, maybe I could go ahead and pull one somewhere over here. But you'll definitely go ahead and see what I'm trying to freaking talk about. Let's see. Hopefully nothing pops out kind of crazy around here, right? Let's see. Maybe it's right here. Damn, dude. Freaking Ben tweets so much. Yeah, I'll show you some other time, dude. F that. But well, yeah, Dogenos is a huge freaking thing right now with the NFTs. Maybe I could go ahead and find my buddy right here on Twitter if I can remember his Twitter. Let's see. I can't, dude. I forgot his freaking Twitter name. He changed it. So yeah, enough with that. That's the thing that's pumping right now. Let's go ahead and talk about this is something I really want to go ahead and point out, is the Manarino market risk indicator. The way this indicator works is that it does the DXY with the US 10-year yield, so it kind of tells you like the risk in the market. And right now we're at 2.3. We did get some news over the weekend, I believe, about some military stuff going on and some sort of war. So I talked about potential possibility of entering a World War III, right? And there's actually an article that I wanted to go ahead and show you with one of my favorite YouTubers that I've been watching for years. I've literally been watching Gregory Manarino for years, man. Literally since 2017, right? So he's kind of the reason why I've been able to keep up with the market, and I learned a lot. So I respect this guy highly, highly, highly. And I actually met him in person, right? So this is a pretty big mentor that I've actually always listened to since 2017 when I really started trading even more. And my trading freaking changed, bro, because literally he's called almost every top and bottom too. And that's kind of the reason why I'm able to call a lot of tops and bottoms. It's because I watch this guy on the daily. So I would definitely recommend check out Gregory Manarino. This guy's really, really in the conspiracy kind of things. He sounds kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. And if you listen to him, you're gonna get scared. So if you don't have an open mind to things and you really don't know what's going on in the world, I would suggest you don't even check him out, right? I had friends literally that would watch him and just stop watching him because he couldn't handle the truth, right? The truth is sometimes a little scary. So some people rather avoid it than hear it. And then there's people like me that I don't care. I'll just go ahead and hear it, whether it's good or bad, and then just deal with it, right? So let's go ahead and read what he has right here. The entire world's debt-based system is flattening as its economy is falling by design. As I've been always saying, right? That can only be one thing. Expect World War III. World War III has already begun, and it will accelerate and expand rapidly. How many of you believe that the current unfolding of geopolitical events is just by accident? We talk about this all the time, right? Do you think that usually I just took out the gum out of my mouth, by the way, because it's like literally melting and I can't speak. How many of you think that, you know, the Bitcoin ETF was surprised? You think it was by accident the ETF took this long? Do you think, you know, we had all these major institutions sell GBTC and convert into the ETF and then sell off billions of freaking crypto? Do you think that was by accident? No. I always tell you there's a plan behind everything, right? So ask yourself that. So back to the article, the fact is people of the world are being forced into accepting a new system with an entirely new set of rules. The current system is being phased out slowly, methodically, and the end game is always the same: war. This transition is, as much as it will bring major change, will also stay the same. What is being set up collectively by the World Management Administration, also known as the central banks, is an updated and new debt-based tokenized cashless system. This transition will continue to involve not only the already ongoing systematic dismantling of the current system, but also creating massive dependency on it. Expanding war is the end game, is also the key to the new system, right? From a stock market standpoint, every manner of anything you can think of will implement it to keep it propped up. We talked about, you know, the Fed's going to do whatever it takes to keep up the stock market propped up, to give it the illusion that the economy's well, right? That the economy's good, that everything's perfect. People are making money, right? But in reality, the people that are really making money are the freaking institutions, the banks, and the well-off people, and people like you and I that trade the markets, right? So higher stock market, now that we have Bitcoin ETF correlated to it, that means a higher Bitcoin, right? So that's quite bullish, but overall sentiment globally, it does require wars and higher inflations to go ahead and take place, right? It is also a stock market positive, you know, massive inflammatory, and is a stock market positive. This mechanism will drive cash into perceived safety of debt and keep rates suppressed. Keeping rates suppressed opens a doorway for cash to flow into risk assets such as the stock market and crypto, right? Expect many government and major corporations. An example, Biden administration just announced a multi-million-dollar award for tech companies. So they're going to be putting in a lot of money into tech, NASDAQ. And what's correlated, what moves with the NASDAQ? Bitcoin. So we could expect stock market, long the stock market, long crypto, right? I'm very, very bullish 2024 to 2025. Leading into the presidential selection that we have in the U.S., it's going to go up higher, right? People are going to be calling for a crash, going to be calling for the biggest depressing times in the world, but it's going to be for the average person. But for the people that are in the stock market and that are longing Bitcoin and crypto long ways, we're talking about 2024 to 2025, a lot of money will be made, right? Expect global debt to hyperballoon. World debt will skyrocket faster moving forward. This mechanism is also stock market positive. We talk about this, right? The more debt, pretty much the worse the economy is in the US, the higher the market goes, right? You can't make any of this up. Literally, the stock market has been printing freaking green candles nearly for the last couple months, right? With all these wars and all this, all of this going, right? All this BS that people panic about, right? Being that 2024 marks the end of the current presidential selection cycle, you can fully expect the illusion of the market to be maintained. That is, the market will be artificially inflated. More easy money into the system to make it seem that there's a good economy, right? Unemployment was lower than expected. You know what I mean? It's dumb news like that. You know, they're only telling us what we want to hear. Along with the stock market illusion, you could expect to be propagandized to the highest possible order, with repeated false flag events expressly telling you who to hate and why we need to strike the military. Expect the price action distortions across the entire spectrum of asset classes will get much greater moving forward, which presents opportunity. Risk on. We talked about this. Risk on the market. More risk on the market, the more people feel comfortable. Investors, that money flows into cryptocurrencies, right? From there on, we have an inflow of meme tokens. People are starting to feel a little bit more degenerate into the meme tokens, right? So there's cycles to this. So this is very, very bullish in the market, but do expect a lot of negativity around the news, speculation about wars, about whatever the heck's going on. I don't even pay attention to that. I just know that's going to push the market higher, and it always has been, and it continues to do so, right? So as people are running around as headless chickens panicking about wars going on, just know the stock market and crypto are going to go higher, right? So it tells you right here, which presents opportunity, risk on. That is cash making its way into the stock market, which will cause commodity prices to remain suppressed. Suppressed commodity prices allow prices of commodities to be bought out cheaply. Expect massive currency devaluation as well, and that's what we've been talking about, right? Trump, if he gets elected in the U.S., we will be seeing a suppressed dollar, and that's what he's pushing for. He's pushing for, corporations having a bigger cut, which corporations are being even more bullish on Trump, and that's going to be bringing in a lot of excitement into the market, right? So I do believe that the DXY will continue to go up higher. We are already approaching towards those levels that we talked about since we created this inverse head and shoulders pattern. I do expect 104 to be broken, and I do also expect the DXY coming back to the levels of 107, possibly 114 being near top. Then we have President Trump. Let's say he gets elected, people are going to go crazy for it, more easy money into the market. People are going to get excited. He's going to be suppressing the dollar, meaning a weaker dollar, and a lot of money is going to be coming into the market. Easy money into the stocks, easy money into crypto, which means bullish long term, right? So don't be surprised if you see any negative press going on around, any press to go ahead and keep you fearful. That's the narrative of keeping people under control, right? Under a certain perspective of not to long the market, and we've been seeing that all across the board, right? Negative news about Bitcoin, negative news about, oh, this is a scam, things like that, and the next thing you know, the market does the opposite, right? So look at the charts, don't look at the freaking news. But when you do see these news, don't panic. I think this is a time to start loading up the markets, possibly not leverage trading so much, maybe just open trades and close them. But overall, I would say stack up, load up on stocks, long the stock market. We already know what the Biden administration is doing. They're going to pretty much be longing the NASDAQ. So, what should you do? Not financial advice. Maybe long the NASDAQ as well, right? The tech sector. Obviously, they're bullish for a reason. Maybe because they know something's coming, right? These are the same politicians that load up on stocks and defense stocks before a sudden war comes out of thin air, right? So I just follow the money is what I'm trying to say, right? Big money is going to be loading up. I can tell you that. Anybody fearful of this market calling for a collapse, Bitcoin crash, $10,000 is full of it. I do expect a lot of volatility in the market leading towards the week. We'll get a better understanding of how the market feels during this Wednesday. But typically, we do go ahead and see a lot of volatility leading into the anticipation of the Fed meeting, and then after a few days later, while we wait for people to dissect it and kind of come up with their own narrative of what they think about the market, right? So overall, I do think, possibility of we are entering this World War III. Expect more wars. You could even literally go to the freaking news right now and then just type in war US or something like that, and you're going to be seeing all these freaking news articles going on right now. Right here we're seeing American and Iran step closer to the brink of war. So I do expect probably a war happening with the US and Iran, especially because of the fact that I heard there was some soldiers actually ended up, I think, getting shot by a drone, I think over the weekend. So I think that's the reason why they're going to be pushing for a war, right? So do expect a war, another war coming soon with what we already have. So I don't know, just be aware of it. Don't panic. Just buy the dips is what I'm trying to tell you. But I do think it's something all of you should go ahead and definitely be aware. And with that being said, let me go ahead and read some comments. But I also do have a few tokens I want to share for everybody always asking me, John, what are the tokens I should be buying? So we're going to go ahead and talk about the tokens that my research team put together, and we could go ahead and look at this together, and I'll go ahead and share that with you. All right, so let's go ahead and read some comments real quick. Piff Daddy, my DYM airdrop worth $1,000. Nice, man, congratulations. When dropped today, my airdrop was 105 yesterday, now it's 85, and Jupiter airdrop is coming on the 31st. Yeah, dude, a lot of money's coming into Solana ecosystem. I heard it's over like $1 billion. So I do believe that with Solana, with the Jupiter, this is supposed Jupiter, when was like a big drop, but Jupiter is going to be a bigger drop. And that's why I believe we could be seeing Solana approach the levels of over $144, right? That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I do see this coming up. So I do expect a lot of positive volatility to the upside on Solana, especially with the anticipation of this huge freaking Jupiter airdrop, right? This is going to be one of the freaking biggest ones, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest one Solana has ever had, right? So I do expect a lot of money inflowing from that Jupiter airdrop. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Let's go ahead and see. Piff Daddy says, I'm staking all my airdrops, bro. Everything I could possibly stake. It could open the doors of future airdrops. It might take half and sell half to buy other coins. It just all depends. I agree with you, man. I think that's really good. Piff Daddy says, but Jupiter is probably going to be good. They have a major platform, so I'm bullish. I agree with you. Hey, Moonboy, how's it going, man? Rumors say a few viewers forgot to smash the like button. Yeah, do me a huge favor and smash that like, man. Piff Daddy says, also, everything went up so much when we were expecting it to drop because how Hong Kong is starting Bitcoin ETFs now. Yes, Hong Kong, we were talking about that they're going to be looking to go ahead and get that done before the end of Q1, right? Also, let's go ahead and see. I don't give a F about crypto prices going higher if it means nuclear war. Yeah, dude. I mean, we probably won't have a nuclear war, but we definitely will have a war. And unfortunately, a lot of people's lives have to kind of end and have to get hurt in order for a higher stock market and higher crypto. It's quite sad, man, but that's just the way of the way of reality, the way things work, right? A lot of freaking wars happen, stock market goes high, crypto goes higher. You know what I mean? It sucks to hear the truth, but that's the reality of the truth, right? Whether you want to accept it or not, just keep your eyes open and just see the way the market moves. You know, the more negative news that come in, the more positive the market reacts. You know, the more positive people want to long the market. Is it mostly retail? I highly doubt it. It's mostly probably institutional buyers, politicians longing the market and pumping the market themselves. You know, that's Wall Street. You know what I mean? So it sucks to hear that people need to go ahead and get hurt in another end. But I'm trying to find that article. Like, let me try to find that. Look, I'm like literally going to go ahead and get this article right here. I don't know why. It's maybe because I'm using Bing, but okay, it's right here. I think it's this one, right? Was it this one? 3 American service members killed and dozens injured in drone attack on base in Jordan, USS. So right now we could be expecting the narrative. You know, they're pushing all the media, the propaganda, they're pushing it to everybody. They're going to go ahead and push all this hate now towards, you know, Jordan. And that's going to go ahead and, you know, people are going to push for us to attack back. Why? Because 3 American soldiers were killed, right? So that's gonna create a lot of conflict, a lot of hate, and now they're going to go ahead and be going after and causing a war. So that's what we could be expecting moving forward. Right now, I don't think it has been announced from what I know that they are, you know, attacking back. But I do expect them to attack back. We're probably going to go ahead and see that. It tells you right here where the troops were attacked. So we'll see where things go, man. I mean, it's to no surprise that we're getting these kind of news, and then you look at the stock market freaking doing good, dude. Like you can't make any of this up. You really can't. Like, even if you tried, you really can't, right? The only thing that we got from that is pretty much a little bit of commodities kind of dropping, the forex market. But besides that, crypto and the stock market bullish. You know, we get these news on the 29th, which was it today? Oh snap! It was today, I guess. I didn't even freaking know that. I thought it was a few days ago. So we get this, and now we have a higher stock market. So what are the odds of that, right? So I do see this thing going on, and I do expect some sort of war happening with Iran very, very soon in the next coming weeks. So definitely be on the lookout for that. About a day ago. So this was over the weekend. Is it a surprise that this happened over the weekend? Always happens when the stock market's not open. There's always a war. Someone attacks somebody. Someone drops a bomb on someone. Someone kills someone in a war. Always during the weekend, dude. Always during the weekend. It's never during the week, if you ever notice that. It's always during the weekend. And we ended up, guess what? We ended Friday on a positive note. I told all of you, expect volatility into the market. If we end the stock market on a Friday positive note, expect a bullish week ahead. It just so happened that after we ended on a positive note on the stock market on Friday, this happened, and now the stock market opens on a Monday on a green, right? So you can't make any of this up. I know it sounds crazy. I don't know, whatever you think, but that's just kind of the reality of the world, you know. Pip Daddy says, I can't wait for prices to drop. I want to buy more ETH, BTC. Yeah, I also would like to go ahead and see more drops. But I think right now, this is probably the drop that we've witnessed is probably the only drop we're going to have for the next coming weeks until we probably lead into the Bitcoin halving and we see that correction coming in. I do believe the correction could be coming in on a lot of these projects, whether it's at 110 or 144. But we still have, in my opinion, more of a long time for that correction to happen. The correction that we had was this correction right here. From December to leading now, that was a correction, and that was a buy and dip opportunity for a lot of people to load up for the massive new all-time highs, right? So I expect more upside than downside in the next coming weeks. Jonathan says, were there a lot of tension? Well, there is lots of tension with Taiwan and China. Yeah, 100%. 9/11 wasn't a Tuesday. That's interesting. But I don't know how 9/11 did with the stock market. How did the stock market do on 9/11? Because I was too young to remember that, man. What was that? Was that 2001? Yeah, I was too young, man. I was born in 98, so I wasn't there for that. Well, I was, but I was a little too young. And then says Piff Daddy, John, I'm not too sure about your theory. Maybe long-term wars are good for markets, but short-term usually takes a negative hit of it crashed. Oh, it crashed. Yeah, that was probably like a lot of fear at the time. See, I don't know what was going on at the time over there. I can't really speak on that. I can't really speak on those past events. But based on what I've been witnessing in the markets since 2017, there has not been a moment where yes, there might be a temporary correction and crash with the market, but overall the market's always positive. You know what I mean? It's always positive. You could go back to even, you know, when we had the whole entire Ukraine and the whole entire, you know, war with Russia, I think it was, and I don't even remember these narratives, man. There's so many new wars and new BS that comes out every day that it's very hard to keep up to date, and honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's just more propaganda being pushed to media in order to, you know, control more people and push that tactics that they want. But overall, what I'm trying to tell you is even with that event, we saw a short-term dump on crypto, and then we saw a massive reversal to the upside. So what I could tell you is that theory or no theory, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, and you're going to see when this actually happens. And if we see a temporary crash in the market, it's going to be a small little correction, then followed with a new all-time high, right? We're going to see a lot of volatility. That's all I can say. We could expect more volatility, but overall, wars are good for the economy. Not really, by the way. but it does create higher inflation for the economy, and also obviously commodities go up, right? So that's typically the kind of positive news that we see in the markets, which is not positive in the worldwide news. As I'm saying, it's usually only positive for traders when we have certain events like that happen in the world. But everything's made by design, man. I guess I have these crazy theories, but these crazy theories that I've had so far, I've been pretty spot on with the market, right? So I'm going to continue with my crazy narratives and crazy theories, but I'm not here to push anybody's beliefs, right? I'm just here to tell you my opinions, my theories of what we see, and then we could go ahead and see how the market goes, right? All I could do is just provide the information, especially airline stocks. I could believe, yeah, 100%, man. I think it triggered a recession. Did Ryanair buy a lot of planes after 9/11 Iran? I don't know, man. Yeah, but you are long term, sure, I agree. Yeah, I mean long term, man. The reason why this is stock market positive, right? War happens, inflation goes up, commodities are pushed through the highest order. I mean, look at what happened with the whole entire Russian and Ukraine war, right? What was going on? Everything was expensive. Electricity, car parts, everything was expensive. Why? Because when these wars are happening and these tensions, these companies are going to have to push for a higher price for all their inventory. And we, the people, are the ones that get affected. While, you know, the people that are invested in the stock market and crypto are making money, right? So this is the reason why I talk about, you know, follow big money. Follow big money. That's all we have to do. And you know, a war, you know, 3 American soldiers dying, you're telling me the stock market's up? That's positive news, right? So it's just little things like that. It's not a coincidence to any of this, right? I guess I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist. That's okay. I'll take that. But so far, you know, even with the pandemic, you know, I called for a massive, I remember telling a lot of people in my circle, dude, be on the lookout. We're going to have a big crash. And guess what? The scandemic happened. The scandemic freaking happened, bro. The scandemic happened. And I started longing the scandemic. A lot of people longed the scandemic, dude. There's a lot of people making easy money during the scandemic. And I call it a scandemic because it was a scam, dude. It's one of the freaking biggest scams on earth. And the thing is, they continue to use the same tactics over and over and over again, right? So, and the market goes up higher. So this is the reason why it's so predictable with a lot of these events, because they use the same tactics over and over and over again. And that's what I'm telling you. Like, just don't panic overall. Anyways, I'm going to get off the topic because I just don't want to get too much into the political realm. Just solely my opinion. And obviously, I think it's good to kind of voice crazy stuff because at the end of the day, chat, like, look, while all this crazy stuff are going on in the world, all we have is you and I. In reality, that's all we have. You and I, right? It's like, who would you rather listen to? A crazy guy like me with freaking platinum hair telling you about these conspiracy theories that could or could not be true, but somehow move with the market? Or would you go ahead and rather listen to someone that tells you, you know, all the negativity of the world and gives you the negative outlook, and now you're kind of sad and scared, but then you have me over here giving you all the negative news, but I'm turning it into a positive, telling you, do not panic, don't worry, everything's going to be good, expect a higher market. I know it sounds crazy, but just watch, right? If you don't believe me, that's okay. Just watch. Just listen to the crazy talk that I give you, and then just watch as time unfolds. That's all I can really go ahead and say, right? So don't completely deny the crazy talk that I'm giving you, but just go ahead and watch. That's all I got to say. Just watch. I'm pretty confident with what I'm telling you. I'm very, very confident. Or else I wouldn't be telling you what I'm telling you, right? If I'm not confident about something, I wouldn't be speaking on it. So just see where things go. You know, I called, you know, before a pandemic happened, not exactly a pandemic, but I talked about a crash to the people that I knew at the time back in 2017. And I talked about what we are witnessing now during the freaking scandemic. I just wish I would have been freaking talking about this on YouTube, you know? If I would have been talking about this on YouTube, I'd have backings to back all of his information. But literally, a lot of things that I've said have happened. You know, I've told my family and friends, like, oh, expect this to happen in the market. And then I'm like, I know it sounds like crazy talk, but just wait. And then 6-8 months later down the line, they're like, dude, you're right, John. What you told me was freaking right. And I'm like, dude, I only know it's right because I'm giving you data that I'm using, compressing it, and I'm telling you. And, you know, and it's been happening ever since, right? So I'm not here to go ahead and say, you know, I told you so, I speak the truth. But so far, I've called almost a lot of things that happen in the market, and it's only because a lot of this is very, very predictable. It's not unpredictable. These are the same tactics that are used over and over and over again. And as long as you see, you know, you look at the market with your eyes, or listen to the market, you can go ahead and pay attention to what's really going on in the world without having to listen to all the BS and propaganda that gets pushed into people's eyes and ears, right? So anyways, enough with that being said, I'm going to cut off that subject. Let's go ahead and talk about altcoins, even though, you know, it seems like a lot of you are loving this talk, but I just don't want to talk too much about it. Yeah, you are right. Long term, sure, I agree, but I never said your theory was crazy. My theory is crazy, bro. My theory is crazy. I won't deny that it's not crazy. Bro, I never said your theory was crazy. Sorry for talking too much in the chat, bro. Let's see about those coins you wanted. No, it's really good, man. I like the interactive with the chats because honestly, that's what helps the freaking channel, bro. Oh my God, I just looked. Oh my God, I just looked at March 12, 2020. BTC was at 3,800. ETC went to 120. That's nice. Glenn, how's it going, buddy? How's it going, man? How's it going? Yo, shout out to Glenn, bro. Media lies, conspiracies normally are true. That's why I like Alex Jones. I like Alex Jones too, bro. I like Alex Jones too. I really wish I had the ability to say what's really on my mind half the time, but I really can't. That's a reality of the truth. Hopefully one day, maybe I have the right platform to talk this crazy talk. But there's only so much I could say, right? And that's all I'm gonna say. Like, all I could say, what I'm telling you right now, we'll see how freaking all of this is taken, right? If I see a decrease in my channel, we know I'm getting pushback. So I have to kind of stop talking about it, but we'll see. that's the deepest I'm gonna go into, right? So I would rather seem crazy because they're going, yeah, it's another crazy guy on YouTube with freaking gray hair. So I think it works. I think that narrative will work. FUD is necessary for the bull run. I agree, Glenn. Yo, Glenn, did you see Dime? It's like $5 on the airdrops. No way, really. That's insane. I lived 36 years next to Russia, and there is always something happening. Hey, how's it going, James? Yeah, 100%, man. And the thing is, the U.S. loves to be involved in everything, man. So, like, a lot of you from different countries understand what I'm telling you and probably comprehend it more than the people from the U.S. because I feel like the people in the U.S. have been so lied to and blinded by everything that they don't realize, like, how much of a problem that what we go through is really, really massive. But I think more people from outside of the U.S. actually understand what I'm really telling you, right? The U.S. loves to be involved in everything, right? So whether it's the U.S.'s problem or not, the U.S. looks for a way to be involved in the problem in order for them to attack, in order for them to take over, whatever the case is, and then that results in higher inflation for the U.S. and results in a higher stock market, results in, you know, whatever the case is. So people from outside the U.S. understand this more than I believe that the people from the U.S., right? I think the people from the U.S. are more asleep than awake. I feel like people outside of the U.S. are more open-minded because they're seeing things around their country that you wouldn't be able to see in the U.S. It's more hidden, right? In the U.S. it's a little bit more hush-hush, and things are left as that, right? And there's maybe a few little things that are out there that are open, but for the most part, they're all hidden. And most people push on the narrative of this one thing, and that's how they kind of feed you that propaganda, right? They push media, and most Americans are super brainwashed. So what I'm telling a lot of you, you know, mostly a lot of people in the U.S. might not comprehend half of the things that I just said. And there's a few that are pretty open-minded that understand. And then most people that are outside of the U.S. are like, John, you're freaking right, dude. You're freaking right. Like we've always knew the U.S. is like this, right? It's quite obvious, but we'll leave it as that. Piff Daddy says March 12, 2020, the crash from the scandemic, and the bro is Rumble for your free speech. You're right, Piff Daddy. Yep, Rumble is the platform. How's it going, Saeed? Hope you're having a good one, bro. Bit is Mooney. We'll take a look at Bits. I see world from another side. We have different problems, not money, but people are always sad and angry. I could understand that, bro. I could always understand that. I think the US is just finally getting to this point where they're kind of like waking up and they're kind of realizing how much BS really goes on. But I think most people are like, probably like, I would say 90% of the population, if not even higher in the US, they're super asleep. They're like 100% sheep, dude. We're like in this debt bubble system that we get pushed and fed to constantly, and this government help and all of this going on. Like, the US has its own issues, right? Anyways, back to the altcoins. Altcoins, interesting post right here on X. This picture is showing top 20 coins every cycle top versus today. His ranking is changing a lot with some exceptions, but from 2021 top, almost all the same coins are still present. Let's see if this time will be different. It will also have a top 20 shift, maybe some gaming, Gamblify, Depend, and AI plays, which I've been quite bullish for the last, how many months have I been talking about these narratives? For the longest, right? People say, John, I don't think the metaverse is going to be big. And I'm like, dude, it's going to be big, but whatever the F you want to say, it's okay, right? We're going to take a look at Byte right now. But you could still live the American dream, I guess, bro. The American dream is a lie, though, man. The American dream is just like the biggest freaking lie and scam ever. Like, and that's the other thing about like America, right? Like, America pushes most immigrants into the U.S., even though that's the biggest complaint that they say we have in the U.S. But you know, the U.S. is, in my opinion, is made by immigrants. And the thing is that you also see in the U.S. is that we have this problem where it's just a debt. It's a debt slavery, dude. It's like they issue debt. You go into debt for school. You go into debt for cars. You go into debt for housing, whatever the case is, and now you're living in this debt circle where you're just a hamster in a freaking wheel, freaking just paying debt and just living paycheck to paycheck, because that's just the way the market was designed, right? So like, obviously those are the people that are mostly fed spoon all that information that they want to hear, or stimulus checks, right? That was all made by design, man. It's just one of those. Piff Daddy says, but you're so right about sheep. Look at how many people got the jab. 100%, man. I missed your water. What water? James says, not true, dude. Money doesn't buy happiness. People here are most miserable than anywhere else. Everyone is on antidepressants. I agree with you, man. The U.S., see, the U.S. is probably not the only country that's like, that people think. See, that's the thing. You know, you just said the American dream, right? The American dream is an illusion, bro. Like, I don't want to go ahead and like say that America is not pretty cool, and you know, it has its pros compared to other countries. I would say, I think the pro is that like the corruption is not as open. The corruption is more like backdoor ended. Like, the corruption is not really seen a lot. Unless you really look for it, but it's mostly hidden, right? Most countries are pretty open about their corruption. They don't care because you can't do anything about it. But more right here, I would say they control the narrative a lot more, right? They control more of the narrative. They have more control of the markets globally, in my opinion. So, and that's kind of where things are, and what Piff Daddy is saying, he's 100% right, dude. Like, a lot of people are on medication. We have a big drug crisis going on in the U.S. right now, and that's just all due to the fact of Big Pharma. And Big Pharma, it just so happened that Big Pharma, dude, I just laugh because it's just so crazy how freaking, like, how crazy this sounds, right? But Big Pharma, I think before the scandemic happened, they were already pushing for higher prices. So before we even heard about the scandemic, Big Pharma was in the US was already upping their prices. They were already making drugs in advance and pricing in the prices even higher before the scandemic. So when the scandemic happened, all the medicines went up. They all went through the roof. You know, they all went through the roof. So that's kind of like the talk right there, where like, you know, America has its own crisis too, bro. And it's a drug crisis, you know, whether it's prescribed from the doctors or whether it's, you know, from the streets. So I agree with you. I think most people are just kind of sick and tired of living this bubble of just constantly living in a circle and not being able to do much about it. The thing is that they're so used to being food sped everything in the mouth that they don't know how to navigate, right? So that's why it's really, really important, I think, in my opinion, is not only being open-minded, but, you know, joining parts of communities, right? Because at the end of the day, man, as crazy as it sounds, you know, the government's not here for us. You know, nobody's really here for us, man. The only people that we have is each other, our families, and that's it, man. And that's even that, right? That's even that. So I think it's very, very important to have a community like what we have here and spread awareness, because most people are not aware of what we're talking about. A lot of people are like literally running around like sheep, going to work. Like think about it. Like, take a second and think about how many people you see when you go out to lunch, when you're driving, where they don't seem like they're half kind of like dead, dude. Like, literally, they just seem like zombies going through the motions. Whether it's like going to work, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's like eating, they're always going through the motions, and they're always being constantly distracted. They never take the time of their day to have some free time to go ahead and see what's around them, right? They always have this busy mindset 24/7, where they're constantly running on a hamster wheel, because as soon as they stop the hamster wheel, guess what? They lose their house, they lose their car, they lose their once a year vacation for a week, they lose everything. They lose their freaking high paying freaking income of 100,000 plus a year. You know, they lose everything. So a lot of these people have to constantly be running on a hamster wheel, right? So that's kind of like how the US was really pushed on. It was more of a debt-based system. It's debt slavery. We're as crazy as it sounds, that's really what it is. You know what I mean? These banks issue you debt, you go ahead and pay it, and you're constantly running in a circle trying to go ahead and pay that thing off. And they'll finance you everything, man. They'll freaking finance you gum if they want you. That's how the US is, man. They'll freaking literally finance you freaking earbuds. They'll finance you a freaking computer. You know what I mean? They'll finance anything they can make money on. But let's go ahead and see what this. Oh, the Fortnite water. Yeah, my Fortnite water is right here, bro. The Fortnite water. Let's go ahead and see the token that Glenn's sharing us right now. Exactly, the rich get richer and everybody else in debt. You're also seeing a decrease in the middle class, bro. I know a lot of people in the middle class that live on retirement, and they live on a fixed income, that have houses. I'm telling you, have a lot of houses, have a lot of money. They live a pretty good lifestyle. I would say they're millionaires, and they're also seeing a crisis right now where money's not coming in as it was a few years ago, or during their career, right? They're seeing that shift where they were doing pretty good. They worked really hard for the retirement. They're retired now, and then the prices of everything's going up. If it's not your mortgage that's going up, it's the prices of utilities that are going up. Is your car insurance going up? Is your food going up? So what I'm trying to tell you right here is that what we're witnessing right now globally is that we're not seeing, you know, we're seeing most of the people that are in the middle class getting affected, that live in a fixed rate income, to the point where, yes, they might have their 5 houses, but guess what? Now the repairs are a lot more. Now the labor's a lot more. Now the freaking supply is a lot more. Everything's a lot more expensive, that their fixed income of $5,000 or $3,000 a month or $10,000 a month is no longer sustainable, because the prices of inflation are going through the roof. So what happens eventually when this middle class couple are making pretty good money and are millionaires, buy assets, you know, buy the real estate and their portfolios and their 401k that they hold? What happens when that thing's going down, when they're in a fixed rate income? Well, they have to sell their houses. They got to sell their fancy boat. They got to sell the freaking the boat that they use in the weekend. They got to sell the jet skis. They start slightly cutting down, trimming out everything they worked for years, because they could no longer afford it due to inflation. And that's where you're seeing the middle class replacement, where now we're having this two-sided economy, whether you have money or you don't. It's really that simple, right? So it's quite crazy, man. It's quite crazy. But let's go ahead and read this token that Glenn went ahead and showed us, or else I'll be here for another 20 hours talking about what we're talking about. It wasn't the token showing up, man. Okay, there you go. G-Lana. I like this one. G-Lana. I see guys in blue, sees pounds of white, and rich rule the day and the poor starve at night. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. It is a wonderful world, man. You just got to see the world in a different perspective, I guess, right? Tillery, how's it going? GameStop is pumping. It is, dude. I've seen them make new all-time highs. Hopefully AMC follows through with it as well. Fire, Dogecoin is better. I agree with you. James says each country have its own problems, but money is bigger problems in small countries. Anyway, the end we made our life by ourselves, but we don't born rich. Not in all cases. I agree, man. The only thing we have control is ourselves. Thank you, Tillery. Was that GameStop? Yes, that's GameStop, man. I got G'd around 4K. That's pretty nice, Glenn. Pretty nice little trade. Are you still holding on to it, bro? I like the G Lana. I don't know. I feel like this thing might go up higher. I'm not throwing money into it because I'm out, but it's a nice little play, dude. Yeah, GameStop is the whole entire narrative that I've been talking about. I'll probably consider making... Yeah, I'll make a video on this. I'll make a video on this, but I think AMC is going to follow through as well. Oh, yeah, look. I told you. Look at that. AMC was at 140-something thousand market cap while we were talking on stream. And now is at 342. So it just literally 1x while we were on stream. So I think we're going to consolidate here for a while. But as GameStop continues to have... Dude, GameStop just hit its all-time high. GameStop just hit its all-time high right now. I literally just broke out of this freaking consolidation zone that we were talking about for a while. So it's just a matter of when freaking AMC does the same thing. Look at this. Look at AMC right here. Same. It moves very, very similar, chat. You can't believe me or you can't, but look at that. It did the same head and shoulders on GameStop that it did on AMC. It's same head and shoulders pattern. You see that? You see the head and shoulders pattern right here. Look at that. Head and shoulders pattern. Dumps. Consolidated, I guess, for a few days or a few hours, and then broke out. So we're having the breakout right now. AMC... Same thing that happened, right? Right now, we're probably going to approach 400,000 market cap right now live as GameStop's breaking out. But we see this head and shoulders pattern, consolidation, and then once we have this breakout, we're going to see a very similar move like we're seeing on GameStop. It's all conspiracy theory, bro. But I'm just telling you, like, the narrative behind it just makes sense. And that's just how meme tokens are. So we'll see where things go. But congratulations on that one, Glenn. I don't like that long wick on G. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing with these tokens. It's you want to get in before you see those long wicks, man. But maybe this retracement, like, look at that. This thing looked dead, and then out of nowhere it pumped. Thank you, Happy. Thank you. And worst thing is go short Solana before pumping. Yeah, you don't want to short it, man. Winning on ASS, Croc today as off. Glenn, go ahead and share those wins, buddy. Go ahead and show those smart contracts. Everybody on chat wants to see them, bro. Come on. Anyways, chat, let's go ahead and continue with these altcoins that we have right here. So we actually do see this chart right here, right on this Twitter post, which I already clicked on. So let's go ahead and talk about the rally is remarkably different from the previous one. I explain why in our January blockchain letter. I'll summarize below. The 2021 peak saw a massive churn in the top tokens. 14 of the top 20 tokens at the peak of 2017 ICO led boom dropped out of the top 20 soon after. They fell a long way. 13 of those fallen tokens now average 123 by market capitalization. Tron is the only project that dropped out of the top 20 and returned. In hindsight, one can say that was speculative forth and hype on unproductive tokens. The 14 tokens that fell out of 2017 top 2020 were all replaced by tokens that didn't even exist at the time prior to the peak. That's freaking wild. So that's kind of the reason why I have that narrative of like holding on to a lot of these freaking tokens, man. You know, a lot of these tokens back in 2017 and even, you know, Glenn and a lot of you that have been in crypto for a while could agree to this. A lot of these tokens are no longer top 20 tokens, are no longer looked at as the same, right? So I'm not sure if that made any sense. Looked at the same, looked at as the, you know what I'm trying to freaking say, dude. They're not looked at as the same, right? We were seeing a lot of the tokens back in 2017 that were once pumping and were super bullish are no longer there. I mean, at one point in 2017, Ripple was considered number 2 under Ethereum. Like, who would have freaking ever thought that, right? And 2021, Ripple is no longer in second place. It's now Ethereum. And 2023 or 2024, whatever the year we're in now, we see Ethereum still being second, right? So 2021, Solana was still top 10 tokens, right? Well, XRP was 6, and XRP is still on the 5th now. So it slightly went up over Cardano. So it's quite crazy, man. It's quite crazy. I know freaking Cosmos is a really, really big thing right now, too. I'm surprised crypto.com is no longer top 20. That's insane. Litecoin, I'm really bullish on Litecoin. I mean, all the tokens that we're seeing right now in the top trending are I'm very bullish on. I don't know about Tron, but all of the rest, Chainlink, Polygon, Polydot, Dogecoin, Avalanche, Cardano, Ripple, Solana, Binance, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Shiba, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Cosmos, Unibot, Uniswap. I mean, that's quite surprising. Dfinity, I don't know what the heck that. Oh, that's ICP, and then Near. Those are freaking bullish tokens in my opinion. So, you know, feel free to screenshot this. I will go ahead and send that on Discord, or you can just go ahead and follow Dean Patera to go ahead and get that information there. But that's what we have for the top tokens that we see, top 20 if you want to call them. Also, a nice DPIN projects sheet that features many market cap ranges and a narrative. This sector is a high potential narrative. We should always follow it and stay up to date with the latest projects in it, right? So some good potential projects are here: RND, HNT, Tau, Theta, Acre, Art, Honey, Demo, and GHX. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this chat, and we're going to go ahead and provide this to everybody on chat right now. Let me go ahead and provide that real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and unfortunately have to end the stream in a few minutes, right? So here you go. Check this out. Oh, that's not it. That is not it. We've been talking about these tokens for a while, so here you go. These are the tokens we should all be looking for. Screenshot that. Yeah, LTC is pretty good, bro. GameStop, Gingers. We're talking about ASS and Twitter. Let's go ahead and look at the smart contract Glenn provided. Crocodile. Crocat. You just can't make this thing up with these names, man. These memes are taking off. Glenn, it would be hilarious if forms of a huge W pattern for ASS. It's always Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, BCH. I'm not sure where XRP was too. Yeah, that's a quite interesting thing. I mean, it says 2017 XRP was number 2, which I wouldn't be surprised, but I can't confirm that. I don't remember. I remember 2017, but I don't remember it too much of that extent of XRP being number 2. It's paying models to put ASS on their coins for pumpamentals. LOL, I still mine HNT. Nice. Are you still doing it with a miner or what? Well, it doesn't mine HINT now. It now mines ILT, but it's basically pegged to HNT. Interesting. I didn't know about ILT. So yeah, we have this article too right here. Let's go ahead and check this one out. And then read into it and see what's the news behind this, right? List of DPIN projects with 500x potentials in 2024 to 2025. So I'm actually going to be making a video on this. So a lot of you are actually getting alpha right here. We see market cap 200 million. All of these render, all of them 100 cap, 200 cap. We're not going to read them all because I'm going to be sitting here all day reading them. DPIN sector is incredibly intriguing. I can't freaking read right now, bro. Intriguing because it is deeply intertwined with the real world and has enormous power. To put its potential into perspective, the combined market cap of the top 10 cloud companies in the real world are approximately 5 trillion. This showcases the immense opportunity with DeepIn. All compiled lists of most intriguing projects from various categories. Instead of buying them all, select the ones that pique your interest the most. Dollar cost average. Don't forget to bookmark this. So go ahead and feel free to screenshot this. As I mentioned, I will also provide a screenshot for all of those that are on Discord. But this is what we're looking at right here, right? Very, very nice data right here. So I guess these are all going to be most of the tokens that are in the IT kind of sector kind of things. Anything with cloud computing, anything with any of that. This is what we're seeing, is what I'm assuming, just based on the narratives of a lot of these things. You know, let's see, for example, which one? Akash network, the first super cloud to provide permissionless access to cloud resources. Bullish. Helium represents a paradigm shift for decentralized wireless infrastructure. Bullish. I remember that during the pandemic. I couldn't even freaking buy any helium miners, bro, because they were so expensive and they would take forever. They sold out all the time. Theta Network, the leading purpose-built blockchain for video, AI, and entertainment. Render, high-performance distributed CPU rendering network. So, you know, Fetch AI, blockchain-based project which builds a digital data place marketplace. So, a lot of these are freaking pretty good. OPSEC, cloud security with decentralized servers, private networks, RDPs, GPUs, and more. You know, these are like actual tools that people would need for the internet, right? So definitely screenshot this. I think this is really, really solid information. I will definitely be making a video with all these tokens right here. But let's go ahead and read the next one on the list. So we have a little bit of TA right here with Theta. On the daily, we could see probably a bottom, and then we see a massive buy zone coming in. H&T has been a strong uptrend, but in order to maintain it, it needs to go off the upslope trend line, which is hard to do in this current environment. We expect a breakout to the upside as well as breakdown to retest the whole retracement's golden pocket. We also see Honey right here, and Demo, which is own network for drivers and developers onboarding the Internet of Things, which is IoT, and is actually listed on BingX. So definitely go ahead and make sure to create an account at BingX, support the channel, use my link down below. BingX and MEXC, both non-KYC platforms. BingX right here, and NordVPN offering 69% off with 3 months extra. Literally, BingX has been one of the easiest platforms when it comes to achieving bonuses. I have over $578 that I have achieved just from literally depositing on BingX and trading, right? I've actually had 600 bucks, right? So right now I have about 578, as you can go ahead and see. These are all money that I could just go ahead and start claiming and start using, and this is all because I freaking deposited money. So this is literally free money that I have in my account right now sitting after I got liquidated yesterday, but I made 600 bucks, right? So definitely check out freaking BingX, completely free. No VPN is required. No VPN is required. What do I mean? No KYC is required. So definitely check it out, right? So check out BingX. I think one of the better platforms in my opinion when it comes to trading higher cap altcoins. They really don't have that many meme tokens, only on spot. So I would use MEXC for spot, for leverage, but when it comes to trading altcoins, Bitcoin, or whatever the case is, BingX is the platform in my opinion. I really like this platform. It has a lot of options. It's very, very easy to use as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that end. We also have When, which is listed on MEXC and BingX, which you can go ahead and do. We also have GMM, whatever that is. And what else? These are all the tokens right here of trending altcoins. A lot of you always ask me, John, what are the top trending altcoins? We talk about this all the time, but these are all the tokens right here. These are all the tokens right here. I'm going to go ahead and try to post these on chat. Maybe I won't be able to, but if I could, I'll try to see if I can. No, I won't be able to. So I'll post this on Discord, or just feel free to go ahead and screenshot what I just showed you right now. I will post this on Discord, so feel free to go ahead and join my Discord completely for free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's right here. This is the link. I'll go ahead and paste it for all of you to join. And I usually post all this information on Discord, right? So usually Discord gets this information first. So if you want to get this information before I go live or make a video, join my Discord right here. This is where you can go ahead and get all that information. Is Sol going to pump crazy tonight? Saeed, yes, I think Sol is going to pump crazy tonight. It doesn't mine NHT now, but it mines IoT. That's nice. I got miners set up for a couple roofs. It used to make $50 per day each miner when AHT was about $50, but now it doesn't do much. I'm like buying 5G equipment. That's insane, dude. I just heard Helium made a deal with Mexico's biggest cell provider. So yeah, Helium is doing big things finally. That's good to hear, man. John, can you share that document? If not, that's cool. I understand. I can't share the document, man. I can't share the document with you, but what I could go ahead and do is that this document that I have right here, and that's just because it's with my team, right? Like this is like connected to my drive and all that. So that's the only reason why. But what I could go ahead and do is I usually post all this information on Discord. So I am going to go ahead and post all this information right here on Hall Altcoins. I'll go ahead and post all the TA. And I'll post all the information that we talked about right here. But a lot of you, because I didn't talk about it on Discord today, you guys are all the first right now listening to this live, right? Typically, I give Discord the information first. Why? Because that just tells me that a lot of you are interested, right? And I give you this list right here, right? Do you see that? So I will provide all the information that's necessary. I usually go through the document and then I go ahead and see what information is valuable or could be valuable for all of us to go ahead and use, right? So expect this information to usually be on the live stream, before the live streams. So if you want to get like a list of hot trending tokens, you want to get the TA before anybody when I go live, join the Discord completely for free. Even all these posts for free, right? So you really don't need the doc. The doc is just really for me to go ahead and speculate and see what I should talk about and what we should bring up. But for the most part, what I'll do is I'll dissect that information and then give you the information that's the most valid in my opinion and makes the most sense, right? So with that being said, join the Discord. All that information will be posted later on today or tonight before the day ends. But I really do appreciate every one of you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch